Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Cheers. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. I am super excited to be welcoming today's guest to Happy Hour, the one and only Miss Tiffany Van Orf. I believe she might be trying to join through Welding Women's Syndicate. Let me see if I can add her. We are going to try. All right. Of success. Tiffany should be joining us shortly. She's an incredible woman who I have not had the pleasure of meeting in person. So
Hi.
hello.
Sorry about that. I was on the wrong page.
Oh, that's all right. You're here. That's all that matters. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my
so
God,
much
I'm
for
telling
being
you, I'm still super nervous. I don't like it on this end.
Don't be nervous. We're just going to be bullshitting for an hour or so. It's all good. It's all good. You got a drink?
No, I have, water.
Water. All right. That works. That
I should
works.
have bust out the gin for this one.
I got the whiskey going, so, you know.
It's too early for that, girlfriend. For me.
What time? Well, where are you? Oh, you're in California, right?
Yeah.
So it's 5 o'clock there.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yeah, there's still sun outside right now.
I know. Look, and we're all matchy. We look like we're in the same
I know.
room.
I have to close. Oh, that's funny. I'm actually sitting next to you. Yeah. It's funny. I have to close it because I'm going to get the glare,
Yeah.
So, and then I have a light here, and I got to have it at an angle here. You already know.
Oh, I totally know the feeling. Totally know the feeling.
Glasses here so I could see.
So I'm really excited that you agreed to join me. As I was just kind of telling everybody, I haven't met you in real life yet, so this is like extra exciting, but I've been following you for forever, and you do all sorts of amazing things. Quickly for the audience, for those who are viewing, tell us just a little nutshell about who you are and what you do.
Who am I? I'm Tiffany. I am, oh my gosh, there's so many things here. Okay, so currently I'm a welding instructor. Formerly I was a shop owner. I don't know, welding, cars, people.
All of the things. all of the things. All right. Yes, she's humble as well.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around being the interviewee and not the interviewer. So.
Right. No, I totally get it. And I find it very typical of us ladies in the trades that we tend to undersell what we do. People are like, so what do you do? I'm like, I'm a mechanic. I work on...
I mean, there's so many things that you do. Which one do you want to know about? You know what I mean?
Right? All of it. I want to know
do it all.
Of it.
I don't cook. Sorry. I don't do that. Sorry.
No, me neither. No, they say get back to the kitchen and I bring the engine into the kitchen.
No, just date well.
That is a smart choice.
I think so.
So I want to go kind of back in time because my understanding from reading up on you and following you is that you were not always a trades lady, and you kind of came to it a little bit later in life. What's the story, and how did you wind up as a shop owner and a car builder and a welder and a fabricator and all of the millions of things that you are?
One day. Okay, so really, I grew up in Long Beach, California, and everyone had hot rods and lowriders, and that was kind of a way of life. So, I hung out with my hood rat friends and hood rat things, and that was actually the thing you did back in the day, was the bully. So, eventually I got into a car club. I married one of the guys. I was in real estate investment back then, doing I bought and sold houses, got into insurance, was actually going to be a stockbroker at some point.
Really?
Yeah. I really did enjoy it, but it was funny because one of the things that I didn't have under my belt was I didn't work with metal. So fast forward a little bit, I ended up getting a divorce, and I become really good friends with a shop owner, and I think it was a year and a half into my separation from my divorce. It ended up, being official. And 3 years later, I ended up going from the, girlfriend to hand me that wrench to shop owner within 3 years.
Wow.
And so he just made it look so beautiful. Like he was so like agile with the metal, and he made everything look so effortless. So I wanted to learn, and I was in that place where now I could, so I don't know if I necessarily had the best education from him, but when you're a shop owner, you don't necessarily get the formal education. So here, do it and know how to do it. Okay, so
I mean, sometimes that's the best way. I feel like I feel like metalwork particularly, tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, obviously there's a lot of like skill to technical welding, especially structural and that kind of stuff. But I feel like with metalwork, it's like anybody can learn how to do it, but then it takes a lifetime to get good at it. Like I can teach you how to use the tool, but then it's really just playing with it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. That's what teaches you really.
That's welding. That's welding in a nutshell right there.
Right.
But yeah, that I guess from there I kind of I just wanted formal education. We had the opportunity to move out of California to start a new shop and build from ground floor up, and I decided to go to college. So my whole, like, I think everything just kind of evolved. You know, I wanted to originally go to school for TIG welding so I can build furniture and like build fuel cells and do like the real intricate work for the shop. And it just really evolved. Once I learned how to stick weld, oh my word, it has no use in my life. I love it. I absolutely love it. And
Stick welding?
Stick, stick.
Yeah. Why is that your favorite?
It's violent. I don't know. Me, man, I have no idea. I just absolutely love it. And I think like pipe welders are like the bee's knees, dude. Like they're like the metal magicians of the welding world.
Oh, totally. So, it's hard work too.
Like it has nothing to do with the shop too. Maybe that's part we're not together no more. But no, like honestly, I love that part of college, and it just kind of evolved from there. I certified in 3 processes my first semester.
Nice.
And the students were coming to me, and, I'm a mom, so I don't know if being nurturing is just kind of in my nature. It kind of evolved because, like, the teacher, the more I was present, the more the instructors were not. And so I was like, I'm paying $30,000 for college. Why am I teaching? And I got really upset. And when you do that when you're older, damn well your rights. And so I was like, I made it happen, but I don't think I necessarily got the best education because I was teaching myself a lot of the time. So it kind of, after I graduated, I took on private lessons and structural jobs, and I was like, I just kind of geared myself toward education and away from the shop. So that was the big demise with the shop, actually.
So you no longer have the shop?
No, the shop is in Arkansas.
Oh. Yeah, that would be a challenging commute.
So I left to actually teach, and I originally wanted to do it in Odessa, and I just kept on trucking, came on home. All right. And I was able to get a college job here, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love nurturing minds and holding their hands as they weld, and I wouldn't have done it any differently. I absolutely love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what is it about teaching? Like, what's the thing about it? I mean, obviously you've got the mom thing, like you're a nurturer by nature. But what is it about teaching that you enjoy so much?
It's satisfying. It's probably the most satisfying jobs I've ever had, is to watch somebody have that aha moment when they catch it and they're doing it without my instruction, or to actually get a student who's naturally talented, and just by a little bit of tutelage from me, they're able to do it. And then they're like, you taught me everything. I'm like, oh my God, I've only known you for 3 months, but thank you. I'm like, the lasting friendships I've built over the past year. Oh my gosh. Some of them are like my best advocates. They tag me all over the place on social media. They call me,
That's awesome.
So, yeah. And I get to learn too, like, just because I'm the teacher doesn't necessarily mean I know everything, like you always learn from people's personalities or from some job that they've had or whatever. So it's fun. I love it.
That's awesome. How about challenges? Like what's the biggest challenge of being a teacher?
The different personalities. You have to like pivot, you have to be able to have a personality that you can pivot on everybody's different personality, because everybody's the same. I get from 16-year-old people to 60-year-old people.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's community college, so it's not like I have a set age. In any type of college, there's always going to be a few like odd ages. So I've had autistic students. I've had kids that are still in high school.
Wow.
I've had father-son duos, that part is just kind of navigating each personality and making sure the curriculum works well for them. And sometimes you actually have to tell them, yeah, I'm not sure it's gonna work for you, buddy. You know what I mean?
Isn't that the hardest conversation to have with
No,
people? No, you don't think
no,
so? I hate
honestly,
it.
no, because I think most people, look at my hair sticking out here, you guys. I'm sorry. Most people, no, because they're not necessarily able to, I wouldn't say keep up, because not everybody can keep up, but they just don't get it. And there's only so much time, and then we certify. So, I mean, I've told one guy, like, he's just basically standing around watching his son, and I was like, oh, you might want to stay to being a mechanic. And he was like, yeah, I think so. You get to know them so well. It's not necessarily hard to tell them, maybe this is not for you. It's not for everybody,
That's awesome.
That's unrealistic for, me as an instructor to think that's going to be for everybody. It's not.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's hard for me 'cause I take it as a challenge when somebody's not getting it. Like I want to spend more time with them. I want to help them get it. And even when I had my shop, when I had employees, like I had the hardest time telling people, like, sorry, like this is not your field.
No, you can't take it personal. It's not yours to take on.
Right.
You have to definitely be able to see what they can do, and if they're not able to do it, you just have to be frank with them. Like, look, you know what? This may not be for you, or maybe you want to take on a few more courses just to see if they're. You can tell sometimes the personality, they just can't get it, and they just can't get it. They're a slow learner, or they're bored. You just have to learn how to navigate and what they're doing. Are they paying attention? Are they coachable? You're not going to be able to help everybody. I know. My girlfriend just told me that the other day. I want to help them all, trust me, but no, you can't. And you have to be able to sleep at night too. So
yeah, no, absolutely. So I saw somebody ask in the comments. I think it was Sophie. I missed who was it, but asked if you have had any or many female students.
Okay. So in the past year, I've had one, and so here's the cool part though. Now, from actually, because I advertise, and I say advertise, but I just post on social media that I have classes and I have like my students. But now from that, I have another girl who's signed up.
Yay!
So she's going to be starting not this weekend, but next weekend. So the algorithm is actually changing. So I've had 2 students.
Yay!
It's not huge, but it's a big deal. Like
it is.
Women in the industry, period.
So from your perspective, I'm interested because welding and automotive mechanical side, like there's some overlap and similarity as far as the industries and who they attract and the challenges that they face and whatnot. But from your perspective, what do you think it is that keeps us so gendered still in our industries? Like, why is it still predominantly men who are enrolling in these classes, and why are we not attracting more women?
I just think big companies are predominantly owned by men. So if there's people in positions like us as teachers or business owners, and you start to have interviews like this, you change the algorithm. And you show ladies that, yes, you can do it. You know what I mean? I've talked to different schools, and I try to, like, whenever I see a school highlight a woman, I praise them, because there's whoever follows them now sees that. So then I also highlight that. You know what I mean? So it directly changes the algorithm. I've had colleges come to me and say, would you do interviews for the ladies? Because they just want to see that there's a person in charge, a person who's teaching, a person who has a degree, a person who's owned the business. That's possible, and that's doable, and there's women out there who actually do it. It's not a matter of us not being able to do it. Good Lord, we have babies. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that hard. It's just a matter of, we are physically able to do it.
Yeah.
It's just that big companies, it's a money thing. You know what I mean? They're going to go toward where the money is, and men are the one that they're targeting. So if we put ourselves in positions for more women to have businesses, more women to be teaching, more women making the decisions, we directly change the algorithm. That's the change right there.
No, that makes sense. And I think a lot of it, you hit the nail on the head, is like just seeing it, right? If girls see people like you and I and all the other amazing women that are out there, like just out there doing it, like just seeing that is an important part of changing the perspective. Do you find in your experience with the ladies that you have had in class or attracting women to the classes, do you think the challenge is more getting girls interested in welding, or is it more getting their family and friends and whatnot on board with them being
Yeah,
into
I think
welding?
it definitely starts from an inception thing. And not all of them, because a lot of them, many of the women that I come across, probably because of what I'm kind of narrow-minded that way. I like veer towards certain people, but it's the family has to support it too, because it's not a traditional type work. And I'm still the black sheep in my family. You know,
Are
everybody,
you?
oh yeah, God, I should have been like a lawyer, a doctor.
But were they not
What do you do
supportive?
for a living? Oh, well, I weld. Oh God, that's nice. What else do you do?
I can totally relate to that. It was definitely like in my family. It wasn't if you're going to go to college. It was which college are you going to go to?
Right,
What are you going to study? Right? Like it was
right.
assumed, and it took my parents a long time to come around. They hate that I say this, but it's true. It took them a while.
It hurts.
It took them a little while to come around to it and be cool with it because they saw that I was a happy and b making a successful life for myself. And even long before any of the TV or anything, like just working as a technician on the line, like I was supporting myself really well as a you know early 20-year-old, right? Like, so they finally came around. But how did your parents respond, like right off the bat when you were kind of headed down this road?
Well, just a couple of months ago, I was saying something to my mom about teaching a new semester, and she was like, "Oh, you're still doing that? I mean, 10 years in, Mom, yeah, I'm pretty much well invested here, dude." Like, I just laugh because, they want me to be making the millions of dollars and buying and selling the homes because, like, I'm going to be gentle when I say these things, but, like, that's just what they're accustomed to. And I wasn't happy, so money doesn't necessarily equate to happiness. And me being in the shop or working with metal or advocating for women in welding, that makes me happy. So
I feel like you're very much not alone in that experience, and there's probably a lot of women and girls who face, non-supportive family, non-supportive parents, non-supportive friends.
yeah.
I know I experienced it, not just my parents, but so many of my peers and teachers and whatnot. How did you deal with that, and what is your advice to others who are dealing with a not so supportive family or friends or whatever it is?
You make your own. That was kind of the reason why I created the Welding Women's Syndicate, is because it's very lonely. Like, even just being in the shop, there weren't many women builders. They rather do the modeling or have the boyfriend who did it. And I couldn't relate because I had more fun building than I did, sitting on it. Like, come on now. So I just kind of created that. I created something to support other women who had similar wants and needs in life, and people we could relate to, who are not going to be like, well, that sounds dumb, or worrying about your hair or your nails, like,
Right.
I don't care.
And not that any of that is bad, right? It's
No,
just
no,
for
but
different people,
you
right?
just can't relate. I don't want to sit
Yeah.
there. I've had this conversation with, I try to be like, have normal girlfriends, but once you start talking about like welding or wrenching or pulling a motor, they're like,
Right.
I glaze over, and you're like, what the hell?
Right.
Like, did I say something wrong?
Right.
And
No, I agree.
it's not relatable. So
Yeah. No, I've said it before and I'll say it a million times. Like, I feel like I have my guy friends who are into cars and metalworking and all that. And then I have my girlfriends who are not into cars. And then I have my like female friends who are into cars and into welding and into doing stuff. And it's like a whole class of its own, because it really is that like, oh my God, we've been an only so much of our lives, right? Like, we always felt like this outsider. And when
yeah,
you meet other women, like, who
best
do
friend
what we do,
forever.
right? It's like, oh my God, I've known you for forever, even though we
I
just
know,
met.
because the travels that they've endured. It's kind of like a lonely path because there really isn't too many women. Social media thankfully has bridged that gap, but I mean, even within just my 10 years of being with the shop and welding and teaching and school, only 1, 2, 3 women that I've worked with, you know what I mean? So I'm like,
Yeah.
that's so tiny. It's so
Yeah,
tiny.
absolutely. Tell us a little bit about Women's Welding Syndicate. for some reason got super tongue tied there. But yes, tell us about it. You've mentioned it. What is it? What's the concept? What are you doing with it?
Okay, so originally I had like an all ladies page, and I just kind of wanted to veer from my private page and highlight all the ladies in the trade. Well, I don't do like carpentry, and I don't do like do it, but I don't identify that way. You know,
right?
It's cool. Meh. It's not my thing. I'm a welder, dude. You know, like
right.
any process. I'm certified in them all. I teach in it. Like I'm a welder. So I decided to change up a page and make it an all welders page. Well, I had seen some weird meme, and it said something about how come we don't celebrate women? How come we don't have like some type of like girl gang, and why don't we like support each other? It was just some weird random meme, and I had sent it to Eliza. I go, what the hell, dude? Like, why don't we have that? And she was like, I don't know. And I go, let's do this. So a couple months ago, like I went full force on it, and then it went from a meme to a website to a logo to I bought the domain to a clothing line, and now we're basically talking to women all over the world who weld, and so we're just a group who support each other who all weld. And I needed it, you know, like I really did, because truly I'm so busy. I sometimes just don't have time to talk to hardly anybody, unless it has something to do with welding or cars. And then I'm like, all right, you got my interest. You know what I mean? I can pick and choose smartly. So now it's just a resource for women who maybe they're interested or they've had some type of like issue. We were guiding one girl through the fact that she wasn't getting paid. So we were going through like the Better Business Bureau. I love being able to help people like that. You know what I mean? Because I've endured so much crap, but I'm a champ, dude. Like I'll get through it. You know, like you're just not going to keep me down. It's not going to happen. But not everybody is like that. So
no, I agree, and I feel like similar to you. I think like all the trials and tribulations that I went through, all of the challenges, all of the non-supportive people, the bosses, the the crappy situations. I feel like if anything, I want something good to come out of that, right? Yeah. And if that's making the path a little bit easier for somebody else, then it makes it all worthwhile. Otherwise, it was just a struggle for being for no vain, right? For no reason. It didn't serve a purpose. But if we can turn it around and make it something positive, I love what you're doing with Welding Women's Syndicate. I think it's
thank you.
It's super important, and I love how much passion there is amongst women in the industry. Like so many of us are so committed to giving back and making a difference and increasing our numbers, and like I just think that's a really cool thing to see.
It's a rough path, I think it's weird for anybody to say like, oh yeah, I've had it super easy. You've had it super easy until there's actually a situation. You're just blessed to have not been in the path of any type of destruction. Trust me, I probably took it all from everybody. I've been through it. But that's the thing, is you're only one step away from that situation where you're not going to think you're having such a great path, because I've talked to women where they haven't had bathrooms or they've been hit on at the job, and I'm like, dude, like, did you tell me you weld too? Or just crazy shit. I've had women who've been raped, like, God, like all the crazy crap we have to do just to freaking weld. If we were men, we wouldn't have to endure that crap. And I don't get it. But the more you change the algorithm, I know it sounds scary, but like, do it, like if you want to do it, do it. Guys don't have that fear, and we're the freaking same. So I want to be able to help somebody. And if all of our stories combined helps just one person, and we've done it already tenfold at this point, so it's worth it.
It's cool seeing the numbers increasing, and you talked about social media kind of highlighting that a little bit. I agree. Like I hate social media in a lot of ways, but I really appreciate, like, when I came up in the industry, I didn't know anybody else like me. Like there was no social media to show us that there were all these other ladies out there, and gosh, you feel like you're the only woman your shop has ever hired. You're the only woman you've ever met who does what you do. You're changing in a file room and wearing men's uniforms, right? Totally.
That, dude.
Right? Like I was talking talking to somebody the other day about that, like the uniform thing. It sounds so silly to complain about, like the I had to wear men's uniforms, but it's a safety issue, right? Because I'm wearing like baggy ass clothing that doesn't fit right and gets caught on stuff. But it's such a diminutive. It's so demeaning, right? To like, you don't acknowledge my presence
Right.
here as a gender enough to have uniforms that fit me, right? Like, it's that little thing, and it's so exciting seeing how much change there is across these industries where there are big businesses starting to take notice. And I think it's because of what you're doing with Women's Welding Syndicate and what we're doing here.
It's what everyone's doing.
We're all doing. Like, they're starting to take notice. They're starting to say, okay, yes, there are women here. Yes, they deserve their own work pants, and like to be, it's validating, right?
Well, a lot of people, I think, honestly, big businesses don't even necessarily realize it. You know, I try to befriend all the colleges that I know, all the owners, all the people in charge, and I don't think they necessarily realize how little that they're catering to women until I'm like, hey, good job on posting that picture of that girl, you know, like, good job to that guy too, but, you know, you guys already cater to men. So congrats on you know, just posting a picture, because it does change the algorithm. And then they're like, oh yeah, because that's actually how I got one of my interviews was AWA out of Arkansas, which is the best welding school. Hey guys. in the country. I love this school. Well, anyhow, they had highlighted a woman. This was the first time. And so I was like, kudos to you guys. So of course I posted it on my storyline, and you know, they did that high five. And so she messaged me and she was like, hi, you know, and I was like, oh my God, can I interview you? She was like, what? And she's like, I'm just a student. I go, no. You are not just a student. You're a woman changing the whole nature of this industry. And she was like, what? I mean, she was so nervous. I said, look, your story with this school will help change somebody's mind about going into that school or into another school. And she was like, okay. So she did it. And it was funny because she actually went to the school and was like, hey, thank you for, I guess they had posted another picture of another woman. And she saw that. And they asked her, you know, like, what could we do? You know, she said, well, highlight women more. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So I tried to make sure I find all the schools and all the colleges, and all the instructors, because they don't necessarily know until you tell them. And I try to like, you just tell them, like, I appreciate that because my daughter could see it, or my friends could see it. And they do. They actually do, especially when you're posting. You are directly changing the algorithm.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's important for the parents to see it too, right? Sure. For the influencers in that child's life to see those images and go, oh yeah, okay, this is something that my daughter, this little girl, can do, because they've seen it, and it's more, it's validating, it's normalized, right?
Definitely.
I do feel like I hear a lot of shops, and as a former shop owner, you may have some thoughts on this. Like, I hear a lot of shops asking, I would love to attract women. I would love to have a female technician or a female welder. I don't know how to attract them. Like, what are your thoughts on what a shop can do to attract a woman?
You have to actually put a woman's face on that company. You know, you have to either post pictures of women taking in their vehicles, or, you know, I don't know, that you have to show the woman. Like, we are very visual, you know what I mean? If you see a woman being serviced at you know, like a service shop, or if there's a girl working on something in that shop, or just people in the crowd, you're like, okay, they're not just targeting men, you know what I mean? You have to see the face of it. Even on our own ads for our college, I go through and I scroll to make sure there's at least one woman in there, because if not, I will ask them, because I write curriculum, you know, like, we need to have at least one woman in there so that they can identify with that. It's very important to visually see it. And then, you know, like, if they're in a shop and they're trying to get women in there, maybe don't want to post a bunch of boobs and ass and degrading stuff on their social media and advertising, you know, because
right,
you know what I mean? Like, there's a real fine kind to being cute and like, come on, you want women to work there, but you're going to try to also, you know, date us?
Right, right. You would think that's a no-brainer, and yet the number of times we have to point that out to people, I'm like, come on.
To point it out, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so you want us to work with you or make you dinner? You know, which one? Because it's not going to be.
How has it been? How's it been as an instructor? Because you're teaching mostly men, as we've established. You only had one female student thus far, and now two in your current class. But what has that been like?
I'm a dick.
All right.
So no. Okay, so I'll explain that one. So I was super nervous. Like my first classes, I had my colleague in there, and he was like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." But the way I would do it, I was come in with perfectly coiffed hair and my makeup, and I'd be sitting, and we have a huge table in the middle of the shop. I'd be sitting there and welcoming everybody, and oh, come on in. Oh, hey, yeah, hi. And then finally, once everybody was there, I would stand up, go to the podium. I am your teacher. I am a woman. No, I'm not going to be nice to you. After hearing that, and they're like, "What the hell?" But like, I don't know. That part never bothered me. I guess being in the shop and being around car club stuff, like all my friends are dudes. You know, like I never. You're not going to intimidate me. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. So, and you have to demand your respect. You know, like if they don't take you seriously, they're not going to take their class seriously. They're not going to get the most out of it. So I do it in a way that I earn their respect. And I've never had a situation with a student, like, not where I was like, "Lord help me, I got to go back to class." No. If we ever have a situation, no, I mean, I've not yet, you know.
Right. Right.
I'm sure that it's going to happen eventually, but that's your job as an instructor, is be able to pivot to everybody's different personality. We don't have to necessarily like each other, but you're going to definitely respect my shop. And if not, I'll ask you to leave.
Yeah. I think that's so valuable what you said. It just, you have to demand the respect. You have to, and I think that starts with like knowing your own worth and being, even if you don't actually feel confident, faking it until you make it, but like owning it, right? Like you've gotta own that you're there. And if you own it, they'll accept it. And if you don't own it, they will.
Oh, they'll prey on it. Oh yeah. You know what? And it probably sounds crappy for me to say, but I'm an excellent welder and I'm confident in my skills. So that part, I mean, it's not, you're not gonna bother me. I've had like students come in who welded longer than me. And I remember one situation, he was actually standing there while I was teaching one of my younger students. He's 16. He was a left-handed student. And we're kind of like dancing around in the booth, and he's left-handed, but right leg dominant. So my daughter's left-handed. I'm ambidextrous. So I've been ambidextrous for 25 years, basically.
Lucky.
And so
I'm inept with my left arm.
It's a blessing. You know, you have to be able to adapt that way. But he was like, he had the weird stance. So like, I didn't realize it. And so we're like bobbing around. And then I started welding, and the student who just, you know, he's 10 years, he's a Marine, he knows everything. He looked at me and he was like, "Wow, you are good." And I said, "Well, that's probably why I'm teaching you. I'm just saying." You know, like I have that personality. I'm not going to get offended. You know what I mean? I just doing my job, and I didn't get it. Like, I have a degree in welding. I have certificates all up and down. I've been doing it for quite a long time. I'm very, very confident in my skills. So he just was like, "Wow, she does it left-handed too."
Well, I bow down to you on that one because I cannot do it. I can't even brush my teeth left-handed. Like, I am my left. Oh my God, I am inept with my left arm. I can't do anything. I have one really big muscle on my right arm and like a nothing on my left arm. It's ridiculous.
Just train yourself. It's not hard.
I've tried. I tried brushing my teeth, and I don't know where to go. I'm so uncoordinated.
Oh, that's funny. It actually is easier for me to do it left-handed sometimes because I feel like my right, like I have carpal tunnel in the right hand, and I have like a messed up rotator cuff. So, my hand shakes a lot. And when you have to do it left-handed, you have to focus so much. So it's like smooth and calm. And I really love doing it. I don't get the opportunity to do it often. So at home, I'll practice a lot just to keep it fresh. And then even if I don't have a left-handed to it, I'll show my whole class. Like, all right, you guys, we're all going left. And they're like, what? Like,
that's smart, though, because sometimes you can't get into a position or an angle when you're working on something where you can get at it with your right hand. So that's actually really super smart.
A lot of my buddies are pipe welders, and they're like, don't forget to teach them left-handed. I'm like, okay, I got you. There's just so much you can pack into the curriculum. I try to make sure I challenge them.
This is a tangent question, but because I do that, I go down random rabbit holes and tangents, but did you feel like there was a difference in acceptance as a woman on the welding side versus the mechanical, and when you were in owning a shop and doing that kind of stuff, and in the car club scene? Like, is there a difference that you've experienced?
I was one of the guys when I was at the shop. Like, literally, like, I think the acceptance was actually the same. And here, I've had probably the more cool situation. When I was at the shop, I was literally one of the guys. So, like, we just shot the shit. Like, I was one of the dudes. Like, that's just how it was. You know what I mean? And thankfully, when I got this job at the college, and I work for Miracosta in Oceanside, the director is a woman. So I was like so impressed that she was in charge of all these trades, you know what I mean? And I think she was also impressed because she was a woman instructor, or trying to be a woman instructor. I had only taught privately from then. So I think she was just like, wow, we were both like very impressed that we're both in that position, you know? So I've been blessed in that way. So the acceptance was actually the same. I really haven't had issues like that. I think I've had more pushback from like women, like, oh, what are you doing at the shop? I am building something, or I'm welding. You know what I mean? Like, your dude's here because he's hanging out with the owner, and I don't even know what the heck they're doing. You know, I'm busy working. So that was probably the least accepting part. So
tell us about the shop. What did you guys do? What kind of work did you do there?
The shop, we just there. So really, we mainly focused on building little mini trucks and hot rods, small repair. We did kind of everything, because at one point we had like mining equipment in there. That's when I first got my first time welding fabrication, dude. Whatever weld, you know.
Right.
That was like the first time I got flashed when I was working on a piece of equipment from one of the mines here. No, my mentor was a jerk. But yeah, I think I was like spinning an axle for like 3 hours. We're repairing this huge piece, and I was like looking away but not wearing anything protecting for hours and hours and hours. And oh my God, I looked like a fish. Like, my eyes were swollen, and I even have like a scar. You can kind of there's a line, and that was almost 10 years ago, dude. Yeah,
wow, that's massive. Welders.
My eyes were like so swollen. Oh, it was awful. It was awful. Yeah.
Wear your PPE, y'all. Everybody out there listening.
I think I was even wearing sandals at that point. Like, it was our own shop, and he was like, "She's gonna learn." And oh yeah, I did.
Right? Well, you got to learn the hard way. Totally. I used to wear sneakers periodically until I got a couple of hot embers in my sneaker, and nope. We got to learn our own stupid mistakes,
I
unfortunately.
Like to leave my house without like steel toes on, because I'm always gonna get into something, or go to somebody's shop, or get into some kind of dirtiness, and I will just cut. I'm always prepared.
That's another thing. Side note: steel-toed shoes. Like, thank you to all the companies that are making steel-toed boots for women now, because when I was starting out as an auto mechanic, I had to wear boys' shoes, like the largest size of boys' shoes. Like, they didn't make any.
Right? You're tiny. I'm 5'9". Okay.
Oh, you're tall.
I'm like an Amazon. Yeah, dude. I know my friends are like, I wear small and glove. I'm like, what? Are you a baby? Like, no, dude. I'm a freaking Amazon.
Oh, everything I have is like smaller, extra small. I got little teeny tiny hands, little tiny head. Yeah, like
I wear 7 3/8 in a welding cap, and I think my boots are 8.5 in men.
nice. Awesome. I love it. All right, I gotta ask about this because I've gotta it came up. I saw when I was researching you, aka stalking you. Um, some Gene Winfield stuff. You worked with Gene.
My favorite project at the shop. So I have been a fan of him.
Well, yeah.
Since I was born, dude. Like you just see the most beautiful rides in Long Beach and LA, and that's where I grew up. And so you always this name, and I was always geared toward hot rods until I got with my ex. And one day, the way you used to advertise, at least the way we did it, we would put ads on Craigslist. Some guy called me up, and he was like, "Do you know who Gene Winfield is?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and he wanted us to refresh the air ride on Maybelline. And I was like, "Oh my God." Like, hold on. You can't post any pictures. You can't tell anybody because he's that much of a big deal. And I was like, well, that's dumb. Because I had Facebook back then. So, of course, I had to, post all the pictures. But, yeah, and really, it was a private owner. His 61 Cadillac, her name is Maybelline, was the only vehicle that Gene Winfield built. And so I literally got to plumb in the air ride, and I was sitting in the trunk, and I was thinking, oh my God, this is like the coolest moment ever. And we did what did we do? The AccuAir, not the E-Level. It was just the controller for the air ride, but we refreshed the whole system. And I remember just sitting in there because it's a huge trunk, and I was like, I wanted to touch it all. And okay, so hopefully they don't see this, but there were some screws that may or may not have made it back on that ride, and they were stainless, and those are going on my mini truck right now. Yeah, that was one of my fangirl moments. Like, you live in California, you see people that are famous all the time, but me, when it comes to automotive, I went to his car show, and I remember I was like, "Do you know who you are?"
I hope so.
I'm such a dick sometimes, I swear. But it's those things, like cars, that's my happy place. But that was my favorite ride, was being able to work on. He didn't own it at the time, but still, it's one of the most iconic vehicles, because that's the only ride that he built himself. So, very cool moment at the shop.
I love it. That's awesome. So, goodness, I have so many questions. There's so many things I want to talk about with you. What are your plans for the future? Like, where are you headed? What are your goals?
Well, I've been in California for a year now. I want to leave yesterday.
Okay.
The political climate here is awful.
Okay.
And a lot of the colleges are limited or closed down, so it makes it difficult as an instructor. So
yeah. How has that been? Sorry to tangent, but how has it been teaching during COVID for you?
I was only shut down for 3 weeks, primarily because my shop for welding is not on the main campus. So that was basically my saving grace. And I had the opportunity to still continue through, but we had, limited students. The teacher-student ratio was low. We had social distancing, contact, the contact tracing. We have to sanitize everything. When I come in about an hour early, and I sanitize the tables, the metal, the tools, the machines, so that they do not really have to touch anything. They just basically come in, listen to instruction, and weld. So that part is kind of weird. And then wanting to go and tour to other colleges, they're just shut down. They're not, I've done a couple of them, but there's not enough students there for me to talk to them, or like the exposure is very limited. So that part has been interesting. Right now I'm trying to actually just get a shop of my own started here so I can, because I had my little mini truck was brought over from Arkansas a couple months ago.
Nice.
So I want to start working on her in my own shop again. And
that was one of my questions, was like, do you miss working on cars?
Yeah.
Do you miss owning a shop?
Yes, I do. Like, so much. Like, I just want to be like fingernail deep in grease. You know what I mean? Like, I absolutely love it. I had pulled the motor and tranny on my B series right before I moved out here. And so she wasn't here for a while. And things I've been busy, but now, you get to a point where you're like, what am I doing? I'm just going to start ripping apart my daily. But it's different. That's just basic maintenance, So I'm like, I want to customize and modify my truck. And I've had my little B series. I've had a different one every year for the past, like, I don't know, 8 years. Like I buy and sell and buy and sell. Now this one, I just want to finish it one day. Like
that feeling.
Put it into the shop and, not work on somebody else's, just mine maybe, and then like have like personal, because I teach personally at my house as well, because it seems like any programs in my community, they're just shut down. So that part navigating teaching and working with the public is weird, especially in my county.
Yeah.
Yeah. The California part and hands-on, everybody is just very scared, and I understand that. I mean, my brother just got out of the hospital himself, so I get it.
I'm sorry.
But this doesn't make my job easier, So I'm like, okay, if I can get my own shop and I can control it, we'll see. The overhead, I'm not looking forward to that part.
Right.
Very difficult. So that was part of the allure of moving out of state with our own shop previous. So I'm like, ugh. Thinking,
and California is a rough. I mean, anywhere where the real estate is super high is going to be just extra hard as far as overhead goes.
Yeah, and then you have emissions laws here too. So like, I have to figure out wording on what I'm going to name the shop, what I'm actually doing. Maybe I just be a garage. You know what I mean? And not open.
What kind of shop do you want to be?
I just want my own little shop to like Welding. Like honestly, that's what I want it to be.
So not even necessarily like for the public, just like a place for you to do your thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and host like teaching classes to my late. You know what I mean? And do art classes. I don't necessarily want to have it open so that there could be walk-in clientele. I never liked that. We didn't do that before.
Okay.
It had to be by appointment. We were in a very exclusive space with another property, another business. So you didn't just walk into the shop before, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Especially being a single female. I mean, I do got a big, crazy pit bull, but you know what I mean? Even in California, I remember just to have a pit bull on the property, it was like $1 million insurance just to have the dog there. So everything you have to navigate in California. So I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Oh, I'm going to leave. But my children live here, so 4 more years until they're all legal.
How many children do you have?
I have 3, 25, Aww. 18, and 14. So.
Oh my goodness. So how do you, so real talk, you do so much. You're teaching, you're doing Women's Welding Syndicate, you're working on your own projects, you're trying to start another business, like on top of the business and all of the businesses.
And there's another one I'm trying to start too, but that one's...
Of course you are.
I love business. I'm telling you, like, if you want to start a business with me, I'm like, yeah, let's talk about it. I love it.
How do you balance it all and be a mom on top of all of that? Like, what's your secret sauce?
None. Compartmentalize things. There's no secret. You just have to compartmentalize and prioritize. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta work, so I gotta pay the bills. And if it's associated to welding, teaching, art, or the truck, it's a priority. And my kids know that, so that there's always a possibility that I will leave the state. And that's just how it is, you know, you got to pay the bills. So that's how you have to look at it that way. And, you know, honestly, if I was a man, no one would ever question it. But because I'm a woman, you know, shouldn't you be with your children all the time? We got phones, we have social media, but would you question your father? You know what I mean? No, you would not.
Right.
So I make sure that people know that it is okay to not have a traditional role in life.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And of course, that just made every other question I had in my brain fly away, because I'm like, yes, yes. I'm like, so right.
You gotta be confident. You know what I mean? Don't ever let anybody like second guess your life. So trust me, it's been very, very, I basically walked the life alone, because you're not going to steer me one way or another. So that's the way I think, and that's the way it's going to be.
I love it. Very cool.
It could be me and my dog.
You and your dog. Is the pit bull there with you? Is the puppy? Mm-hmm. Because I thought I saw you like kind of doing what I was doing with my cat, like trying to keep her out of the camera.
He's outside. He would be actually eating my arm right now because he's turning 1 this weekend.
Oh, puppy.
I still have it. He took a chunk out of my arm because he's a bully and he's teething still, probably for another year. And he's wild. So, no, he's outside. He's sweet, but, ooh, Lord, no. I forgot how much it was, you know, to train. He's just like my another child of mine. So I'm like, holy moly. What was I thinking? But I love him.
I love it. So did we change? So question about the shop. You want to open another shop. Do you still want to teach?
Yes.
While you're doing it. So you want to do both?
Yes. Okay. Hopefully I can transition myself into doing my own.
Like teaching on your own? Or
yeah. There's high and lows with working with a community college, and I've went to a university, so I saw the highs and lows of that. And I've seen the highs and lows of doing private schooling. And I kind of just want to bridge the gap and do my own thing. You know what I mean? I see where there is a deficit in certain things, and I just...
And what? Tell me more about that.
Okay. So, like, budget. You know, like, if you're trying to order metal for, like, say, my Welding 101 class, you have to go through this person and fill out a form, and then it has to be approved by this person. I want to be in charge. Like, I'm very good in business. So I don't want, and then there, you know, like that person 3 or 4 people down don't necessarily know what, you know, angle iron is or stock, or, you know, I know what all that stuff is
because the layers of bureaucracy.
You know what I mean? Like the people that order don't necessarily know, like, it's not okay to be late, and sometimes it's not their fault, but you know, like I don't like having so many people that are in charge of things that I'm doing. I love having my own business, and I'm very good at it. So that part is hard, especially when you have 10 people waiting in one class and 10 in another and 5 coming and, you know, another 10 in another class. You're like waiting, and I don't like that part. You know, if I can be in charge, I'm the welder. There's a college actually not too far from me who is, it's a welder run. And it's a major college, but he's on the board, and so he understands. And so I don't know if I necessarily want to take the steps to do that at my own college. I think I just want to do it on my own. You know what I mean? I'm a goal seeker, man. I can't.
Right. Do you find a difference in, because you're doing private classes as it is right now in addition to your teaching at the college, do you find it's a different student that you attract for private lessons than for college lessons?
No, not really. This one is I don't want to say, 'cause I don't want to say too much about the student, but I know the parent, and she had come to me, and she's super sweet, and there were circumstances that she had known about my prior teaching that I had been able to navigate a class with the student. And so I think because her son is very much interested, she wasn't sure if they wanted to invest, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars into a program that maybe he wouldn't like. And so I was like, well, I have all the capabilities to do that. You know what I mean? And they're not too far from me. So I'm just going to do the introduction to multiple processes to see if it's something that she wants to further pursue. And so it was just like, I love introducing people to it. I like to see, like the first strike, and whether they like it or not, I just like at least that good introduction, because my introduction was basically, here's a MIG torch. You know what I mean? Like,
figure it out.
Do it. Like seriously, I remember we were working on a body drop Dakota, and my partner had B-rolled all the floor pans, right? And he was like, "You're gonna weld them in." What? What? And he was like, I'll be next door. And I was like, crap. All right. Like, no formal, I've tacked with him, set up with him. I fabricated, I made the stuff. I cleaned the stuff. I did all the stuff. There's a tack here and there. But, like, the full job? Oh, my God. What? And he just handed me the MIG gun. I was like, go for it. All righty then. So I want someone to have a little bit more instruction. You know what I mean? Not like, some type of like metallurgy or science behind it, or how to recognize what you are or not doing wrong. And thankfully I had done everything basically but be the lead welder. I knew, and I was fine, but not everybody has that. You know what I mean? I had like the coolest introduction for my welding. Nobody has that, so I wanted to offer that opportunity to somebody. And
I need to come and take classes from you, because I learned the same. I learned the same way. It was like, here, figure it out, because that's what I do to myself, right? Like I throw, just like you, throw myself in situations. Yeah,
it's so many people. It's funny because you could probably go to like one of the most famous welders, and so what type of schooling did you have? Oh, I taught myself.
Right,
and they will not know just basic certain things, and if you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I know everything, but I have a very good foundation. And from like just sweeping the floors to then the formal education, and then all encompassed into now teaching, I think it comes down to like a really good foundation. I think. I mean, I have a 98% pass rate for certifications. So, and it's the D 1.1, or that's what it is in California. So
that's awesome.
I'm just going by the pass rate here, and everybody's smiling at the end of the day.
So we don't have a lot of time before Instagram's going to kick us off. So final question. You clearly have been somebody who has taken challenges head on. It doesn't matter like what anybody around you has thought or believed you were capable of. Clearly there's something in you that gives you that ability to say, no, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go after it. What are your words of wisdom, your words of advice to either the younger you or somebody like you out there who's like, God, that's what I want to be. I don't know.
Oh, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, and if not, find somebody like me to help you find it in you. Because there's somebody out there that's going to resonate with your story, or you're longing to do something, and find that person, whether it's social media, family, friend, class. If you're not happy somewhere, change it. And that's how I was in life. I wasn't happy, and I believed in myself. I just didn't know what the heck I was going to do, because I've done it all. Believe in yourself, love yourself, and then find your group, find your girl gang. You like that one?
I do.
Make it happen. You know what I mean? Like, make it happen, and just be confident in the fact that you may not do everything perfectly. You'll get it.
Yeah, I love it. Perfect words to end on. You, my dear, are a rock star. I applaud what you're doing. I applaud you. Keep up the fantastic work. I'm so glad that we got a chance to meet. Hopefully one day we'll get a chance to meet in real life.
I know. I'm closer now.
I know, right? So we definitely have to make that happen in the near future. But keep doing what you're doing, and I have all the respect in the world for you.
Aww,
so thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely. And you got to send me your address so I can send you a lovely happy hour girl gang glass as a thank you for being on this with me. And everybody out there who's watching, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed meeting this incredible woman. Tune in next week for another fantastic happy hour with another woman, and you'll have to wait and find out who that is. But for now, have a fantastic evening, fantastic rest of your week. Cheers, y'all.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.